Gleis 13, bitte Vorsicht, der Zug fährt ab.
Platform 13, attention please, the train is about to depart.
Hey everyone, what's up? Restless Wanderer here with another Game Cam video for y'all. Today's theme is really kind of about the predictability of some of the deer on my property here, or at least it seems so. We know deer are active around, both dawn and dusk. They call that crepuscular. I had to look that up, by the way. But what I find really interesting is that, when they are in an area, they're at a very specific spot at a very relatively specific time. So if I was going to be hunting in this area, for example, I would definitely be there between about 5 and 6 every evening and would probably be a good place to be. You'll notice that finally figured out the date timestamp on my camera, so those times are accurate. So the first clip here, we've got a doe and a buck, and the doe. One of the things I noticed is just it's got some unique marking on its face. It's got a pretty wide stripe around its nose and around the eyes. Now, I don't know if that's an age thing or if that's kind of like going to be unique to that animal for the rest of its life, but it's pretty easy to recognize. The other thing is, if you notice this buck, it is licking a lot of its hind legs, and that you see the tongue kind of moving around. And what I'm told is that it's either a scent gland or it's pissing on itself, and then it licks that off, and when it chews or it feeds on twigs and such, it then spreads that scent around. I don't know if that's a wives' tale or not. So you notice here that it suddenly alerts, and I don't know if it's listening to the camera or hears the camera, but a lot of the deer seem to be really interested in the camera, like they're sniffing on it or seeing if it's food or whatever, and you'll see that on another clip. Okay, second segment. Now it's about 6 days later, a little bit earlier, but still, right around the 5 o'clock range, and we've got some more interested parties. So, again, this deer is very interested in the camera, sniffing around. I don't know if it still just smells the scent of me on it and is trying to figure out what it is, but certainly it keeps its interest for a while. This is a different doe. It doesn't have the same markings. Again, right around that 5 o'clock time. I'm not a big fan of putting out time feeders. In fact, I don't use feeders at all. I maybe a little bit old school, where I like to kind of get out before the hunting season and observe the behaviors, try to figure out where I want to set up, etc. And these game cams is exactly why they're so valuable, because you can be out there and watch this stuff and kind of get a sense of what's going on without having to spend all that time. This is why I put the deer counter on, because there's just a ton of deer. I don't know if you see it right now, but there's 3 in the picture. Oh, there's 4. And then we're going to see a 5th one pop up. And, it's even with the undergrowth all gone and dead, it still amazes me how sometimes it's hard to see these things. Okay, now we're on to the next day. Again, a little bit after 5:30, and we're back to the buck and the doe. See, the doe is pretty recognizable. And this time, this one seems to be alerting a little bit, but it's certainly, they seem to get a little bit spooked when they walk by. got a couple of extra, clips that I thought I would share. One is just, we had a lot of rain in February, a lot of flooding, and that just terrible weather. And then you get these foggy mornings. I just thought this was kind of cool. This reminds me a lot of hunting in northern Minnesota, where it's just swampy and foggy, and a lot of times you would hear the deer and not really see them. Another time, this is in the middle of the day. They're still active, but got a couple deer, a couple doe that have spooked on something. And again, always amazed at how fast these guys can run and jump if they really need to. And the last clip here is just a nighttime shot. When you get really close to the IR lens, it kind of makes it look like it's a ghosty or something, but thought I'd throw that in there as well. So hope you enjoyed this clip. As always, please like and subscribe. Leave some comments on what it is that you'd like to see, or if there's something that you think is kind of silly. Hope you enjoy. Bye.